The Buzz would like to give a big thanks to iiNet for their support.
Actually haven't even opened the lid of my laptop.
Hello and welcome to The Buzz, Australia's first and only social media TV show. Great to have your company this evening. If you'd like to join us, just use hashtag #TheBuzz or jump on Facebook and actually have a look for our page there as well, The Buzz Live. Some of your tweets and your Facebook posts will actually make it onto the show this evening, along with two other people who have made it onto the show this evening. It's Nikita Dixon and Paul Cook. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Very cool. I like your bottom third there, Paul Cook. Your description was in fact strange. It just said strange. That's the way we like it. That is pretty witty as far as I'm concerned.
But not witty.
Well, the Olympics are happening, as you would know. The Olympics are happening big time at the moment. And frankly, the Olympics must be a bad thing because it's making people cry.
Just go out there and represent your country and do a good job, and I was just trying to do that.
You did a good job, Em.
Okay, guys, we might stop there, thank you.
It's probably really a bad thing, isn't it? When someone who thinks they're going to win doesn't actually win. You have a look at my iPad now. You can see there's a story here as well. Emily Seebohm, gotta love that name. Emily Seebohm still struggling to cope with coming second in the 100-metre backstroke, actually. We're really not doing very well in the Olympics at the moment, are we?
Oh, well, yeah, especially considering, we thought we were going to win by a landslide with the swimming. The sea bomb is disappointing. The missile is disappointing. It's just,
Just nothing's going right. And look, as far as expectations go, Australia wins silver. We're all sad about it. New Zealand wins bronze. They're over the moon, and it's a great thing. I don't know. But the Queen was at the opening ceremony as well.
She was.
Did you see her there? Did you actually see how she got into the Olympics?
She jumped right out of a helicopter with James Bond.
That's pretty incredible. So Bond went and got her, and then they both jumped out of a helicopter, which I think is
I like to think it was actually her.
Just phenomenal. Now, Nikita, something I thought that you would have been quite interested in is hot men at the Olympics.
Well, we are watching all this swimming on Channel 9. It seems to be all they are.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Some
look
hotties.
at my iPad.
Are they actually wearing anything?
They are. They're wearing their Speedos, but, some strategic placing of these little banners
Oh,
are
hello.
just
What
making
on
it look
earth is going on there?
completely... Yeah.
That's like the post-buzz production meeting.
It looks like this guy on the left is actually inspecting something.
He's got a pimple on his butt.
So we're
pulled it
actually
down.
saying here, is this Olympics photos or is this actually porn
Well...
of some description? It certainly
it's not
looks that
actually
way.
porn. It is actually screen caps taken from television, but the strategic placing.
Just a coincidence,
It's just-
hopefully.
But
It's
women...
all in good fun, but yeah, people have obviously photoshopped that banner to go a little bit higher when need be.
The
And
viewing figures for the women is going through the roof.
oh yeah.
All right, so we need to move along, and the next thing that we really want to talk about here is a tag that's trending, #OpAustralia. And if you take a look at my iPad now, skull, hackers publish AAPT customers' data. So what we're seeing here is that the notorious online group Anonymous, I'm not really sure you can call them a group even, they have decided that they're not a big fan of the mooted Australian, we're talking about potentially having data retention for quite a long time, and that's really not something that a lot of people want to be seeing.
2 years, I believe, isn't it? They want to
Yeah,
keep it
2
for?
years. It's just an incredible
all
amount
your
of time as well.
browsing data your host is going to keep for 2 years, which is going to be, I guess, a shame when they decide to pull it out in a court case and maybe prove that,
Well, the
you've
fact
done
is they can
something.
do that already. I mean, people worry that ISPs are hanging on to data and monitoring
Yeah.
it. But if, for example, someone is downloading something illegally, their IP address is out there for the public to see. And if a company wants to investigate that, they can get it, and then they will go to an ISP with a court order to get the customer that matches the IP.
Are we going to see a growth in things like proxy servers and the like the Tor search
Yeah, and
engines,
the
like
virtual
dark
private
web,
networks.
that kind
Absolutely.
of stuff?
Yes, we
We're
are.
going to see more people going over to
So we
the
just need to wise up to the law that exists already.
Now, guys, if you are anything under 30 years of age, you will have no appreciation for what we're about to show you next. But if you're over 30 and you were a fan of the old Commodore 64, this may very well bring a tear to your eye. Version of the Olympics, and there's a few games out at the moment that are sort of going down that 8-bit path, aren't they? Minecraft seems to be one that's very blocky.
It's the 30th anniversary of the Commodore 64 this week too.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you
Very
go.
So that's why
Lots
we're
of people reminiscing on Twitter.
We're going a bit all 8-bit crazy at the moment.
Time for us to do a few app reviews, and I'll direct your attention to my iPad. On it at the moment is an application that's called Tourist. Now, let's just see if we can get that up. There it is on the screen now. Tourist, it's incredible. So follow me through on this. What I want to do first of all is have a look if there's any tours near me. So it'll zoom in down close to Perth, and down the bottom of the screen you can actually see the tours that exist in this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select one of them. Let's have a look at the Power Hall in North Coogee. Now this in particular is a tour of the old power station down in Fremantle there. Now we'll see if we can get this up.
I used to have to get drunk and jump a fence at 2 in the morning to do this.
Really?
But now.
Yeah, so let's see if we can get this up on the screen. It's taking its time, isn't it? Data, oh, it looks slightly different.
there
but
we go.
I'm going to stand up because that's how this thing works.
What are we looking at?
So have a look at that, and as I rotate, it's almost as though I've got a window down into this particular establishment. And I can go up.
That's amazing,
Come
isn't it?
down. And of course, you don't have to do it with a gyroscope either. You can flick to touch mode, at which point you can actually just then use your fingers to take a look around the place as well.
That's good, because you might look a little bit foolish if you're in a crowd of people.
You can look a little bit foolish, yeah. So look, this one, Tourist, it does tours all over the world, not just here in Perth. So if you've ever wanted to see the Eiffel Tower up close, you can go and take a look at it. Free of charge, absolutely brilliant application, and you can see the little icon there, Tourist.
Absolutely.
Tourwrist. Highly recommended.
All right.
Nikita.
Well, now, obviously you're talking about virtual reality there, but something that's really gaining a lot of traction at the moment is this augmented reality. Now, if you get yourself this Layer app, people are creating all these different types of augmented reality, which if you see on my iPad, you can't actually see at the moment, but it means that you're looking at things that are happening through your iPad, and you can see things going on over the top. So we'll just launch this food to go one.
I think we may have lost your connection there.
No. Hang on.
This is the problem with doing live television, is that these things tend to happen quite regularly. So we'll get Nikita reconnected back onto our network. You'll note that we're actually using iPads to do this, and we're using Wi-Fi to actually get there. What we might do is, while we're waiting for Nikita to bring it up on her machine, we'll go across to Paul.
All right, now you've seen some lovely places with your tourist. You've had a look at some of the stuff, but I don't want to ruin the surprise for Nikita's.
Don't ruin it.
But what may happen is, when you go to see one of these places, you go on a plane and it crashes.
Oh no.
What are you going to do? Well, I can tell you the first thing you need to do is make sure when you jump out of the aircraft, you take with you your iPad, because what's going to happen is you have your survival guide logged onto it. One of the first things you're going to do is be crying, maybe upset, have an injury. Psychology of survival is where you're going to go. You're going to find out some of the things you're going to need to know. Toughen up, cup of cement, get over it. And then, well, what am I going to do? I'm going to need to find some food. I'm going to need to find some shelter, start a fire. Food procurement is another one. What sort of food are you going to eat whilst you're stuck out in the middle of the desert? And finally, one of the most important ones, of course, if you are harassed by some of the locals, weaponry. That's also in the survival guide.
Very good.
Great.
Please be careful, though, that your battery doesn't run out. Maybe take a printer with you and print it off.
So what's it actually called?
It's called Survival Guide. It's free.
How much?
Awesome.
It's free.
Free.
Free. Free's my favourite price.
Yeah.
Back to Nikita.
You know what? We've got it working now.
We've got it
I don't know
working?
what happened before, but basically you look at things through your... Oh, that was my finger in the way there. Look at things through your iPad and it will pop up. At the moment, I'm using one for food to go. So we can see off in that direction, we've got... Croissant Express, 302 metres away, McDonald's, 275 metres away, and you just walk along and you can see these points of interest. Now, we can actually go to a different one if we go back, and let's see, I want to find an ATM. Let's launch that one, and you'll be walking around, and we'll just wait for those results to come up. It does take a little while to load, but there we go, off in that direction, CUA ATM. in
So this would be a great application for a tourist who's in a part of the town they've never been in before.
It is a great application for that, but there are many uses that this can be brought to.
How cool is this going to be, just quickly, when they have webcams set up in the shop? So you can have a look, click on it, look in the shop.
See what's in there.
It's not busy, I don't have to wait, or there's a special on or whatever. Awesome.
Now, if you actually were schooled in any of the West Australian schools that I was schooled in, you'd be familiar with the term wedgie. We would now like to present to you the atomic wedgie.
Oh.